What's up, everybody? Unsportsmanlike conduct, Gabb Bree here to talk sports with you guys. We're back. We took a little break, but we did some exciting things while we were gone. So,
oh my god, I have
a
lot.
Experience.
let's just dive right into this one, shall we? So I went to Wrestlemania this past weekend. I have never been into WWE, maybe like for a hot second when I was a kid, like when John Cena first became like big into it and whatever, but like other than that, no. And I had the opportunity to go this weekend. We have a friend that works for SoFi and she gave us tickets, and like it was just kind of one of those things where we're like, screw it, like it's going to be hard to not have a good time. Let's just go.
So I mean, you guys had great seats. It looked like you were you in a suite? It looked like you got a
okay,
there we go. Any suite experience, I'm going. Like, I don't really care what it is.
I was like, oh, okay. Because she has gotten us tickets to like Charger games before, and we get to go like down in like the field club area, and then we have just like regular seats. But she pulled it off this way. Oh yeah. I don't know what we did to deserve that, but like shout out to Jess. And yeah, so I got my first WrestleMania experience, and I learned that night one is kind of like not tamer, but less crazy.
Well, it didn't look very tame to me.
It wasn't. But compared to night two, because I actually watched night two on TV, that's how into it I got. It was not as like big, I guess, but it was still, I mean, it was awesome. Freaking Pat McAfee came out and like
George
kicked
Kittle.
the Miz's were you there
with on Kittle's day, or is that not your day?
Which day?
With Kittle out there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
So I sent you the picture. It looked like Patrick Mahomes was a couple suites down from us, and it looked like Kittle was in there too. So I feel like it had to have been both of them. Yeah, but McAfee came out like as a surprise guest and kicked the Miz's ass. The poor Miz, he got the shit kicked out of him all weekend. It was hysterical. But no, it was really cool. And like I said, this was the first time I've ever experienced anything like this. And WrestleMania, from everything I've learned, is like WWE's Super Bowl, I guess. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but that's kind of the vibe I picked up.
Well, it is in an NFL stadium, so.
It was so fucking cool. Like after the fact, I have never experienced something where I'm like, oh my God, that was so fun. Like that,
I've had a reaction like that, but that was like a Harry Styles concert. So
yeah, but like I went to Harry Styles this year, and like that was awesome. But this was something that I never thought I would enjoy, and I was so pleasantly surprised because it's a production, man. The stage that they had set up, the pyrotechnics and everything, like it was crazy, and people were eating it up. The crowd was so loud.
Okay, so I have a question for you though. This is my question because I don't know anything about wrestling. I've seen some stuff, like some of my guy friends go to that stuff, but I don't know anything. My question is, how do you determine who is going to win? Like, I know it's like all scripted and stuff like that. How do you determine what if I wanted to win and they pick someone else? You know what I mean? Like, how do you determine that?
So I was trying to figure that out too, because I knew that much. I knew that there were storylines that got followed, and like if this person was fighting this person for a certain amount of time, like this might be the time for the loser to win. Like I know all that stuff. But like, for example, Logan Paul came out, and talk about a perfect person to play a villain. He ate that shit up. He was so good. And he was fighting Seth Rollins, who has become our household favorite. My boyfriend has been singing Seth Rollins' intro music for the last however many days, and like doing all of his poses and stuff. Like he's become the pure Wachowski household favorite. But I guess like the whole thing with that is Seth Rollins and him have this like massive feud going on, and what I picked up from all of these fights is whoever it looks like they're winning the majority of the fight is going to lose.
That makes sense.
So like John Cena, for example, he was the first fight, and I'm
trying to like remember. Is he?
Oh my God. So he comes out.
That's my question. God. How old is he? How old are these men doing this stuff?
Cena is legit like 50 years old.
50?
Like, I'm not even bullshitting. Like, I think he's 50, if not like high 40s.
Good for him. Because
he comes out like in his jeans shorts and his freaking, he had Air Force Ones.
He's 41. That's still.
Man, you could have fooled me because he looks older than 41. He's got a bald, he took his hat off. He has a big bald spot.
I thought he was bald, or he just had like barely any hair.
He literally, like the crown of his head is just, it's gone. Oh. It's gone. But like his fight, for example, it seemed to me like he was winning pretty much the whole time. And he like hit the ref and had the guy pinned to where he tapped out. I can't even remember the guy's name it was like Austin Theory, I think his name is. I don't know. But he tapped out, but the ref didn't see because he got like kicked in the nuts or something. So the ref was down, not paying attention.
So the ref wins. Down.
But then the ref gets back up and Cena's celebrating and the guy comes over and like pins him or whatever. And then he ends up winning. Like, it was nuts. But I just like, I have nothing but good things to say about the whole event. It's so funny. It looks
like a party. It looks like a big party.
Dude, I was so stunned with just like the setup. We walked in and we looked at the whole thing and we were like,
well, did you get like free drinks in your suite?
Oh my God, yeah. Free food, free drink, everything.
What was on the menu? See, I'm so intrigued by the sweet part. That's like my favorite part about the event.
We got sliders, we got chicken tenders, which were some of the best chicken tenders I've ever had in my life. There was like a fruit platter and then like veggies and dip and stuff. There was fucking sushi.
Yeah, there's sushi. I feel like they always just like try to push sushi and sweets for some reason. I like sushi, but I'm like, okay, sure.
It was, I mean, it was good. The whole thing was good. And then there was like, for like drinks, they had a whole like beer selection, a whole bunch of mixed drinks and like our own personal like attendant and bartender and stuff. Like, I've never been in a suite like that before. I've been in a suite a couple times in my life, not to brag, but like that.
Yeah.
That was elite. It was elite.
You both should go to SummerSlam in Detroit this year at Ford Field. I like Ford Field.
I've never. Place. When is it? When is it? Maybe we can get this in the works.
Yeah, and then we'll go, and then we'll be WWE fans. Guys, real quick, Detroit, I just want to make this known. We don't talk about Detroit very often, but
yeah,
I don't know why they get the hate that they do.
I've never been. Going to Cleveland. Well, I've been to Chicago, but like going to Cleveland was my first time in like a true Midwest type city, I think. So, but like I've never been to Milwaukee, never Detroit, anything like that.
I feel bad for Detroit because they get shit on just like Cleveland does, but Detroit's not a bad place. Every city has bad parts. Every city has different parts that people say don't go to. But like when you go to those parts, sometimes you find some of the best food and some of the best things to do.
Yeah. I mean, I've lived in Boston, I've lived in Providence, and now I live in Los Angeles. And there are parts that I don't feel comfortable going to. And I'm sure everybody has those parts in their own city, but like that doesn't make it a bad place, you know?
Yeah. So we should make a trip to Detroit and then we'll do some content with Dan Campbell.
There we go.
Perfect. We are Lions stands.
We can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my Saturday. And then last night we had some, UConn Huskies action. But let's talk about what happened in between those 2 days because let's just go chronological order: Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So Sunday was the women's national championship game.
Awesome. Great game. I mean, I wish it was a little closer, but still, like the drama around it was great.
But the fact that it brought so many eyes to the point where it's
now it's like the biggest discussion that there is.
It's beating out professional sports numbers, like some NBA Finals games from a couple years ago. Like that is huge, huge, huge for women's basketball and like women's sports in general. Like this entire March Madness on the women's side did so well just for people to look at women's basketball and say, oh shit, like there's some ballers. Maybe we shouldn't be making these jokes about like whatever sexist thing you could think of about how it's not a sport. They're not in the kitchen or whatever stupid shit you see all these Twitter replies saying. So shout out to Caitlin Clark because she was a real big catalyst of this. People, I think, looked at her and like I've even seen the tweets of the screenshots of the comments on Instagram and stuff where they're like, oh shit, she's a baller. Like she could make it in the NBA. So it's real cool. And then we got the game that we got on Sunday. And it had so much potential to be such a good game. And it truly was. But the worst part about it was all anybody on Twitter was talking about was the fact that the officiating was so bad.
Which it was really bad. The technical.
Man, talk about soft. How are you going to let Miss Kim Mulkey stand on the court longer than anybody that's actually playing in the game? How are you going to let her freak out the way that she does? How are you going to let her make contact with a ref?
She literally punched a ref.
She is, man, outside. I've been watching women's college basketball for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
There is nobody in the game. Like, I didn't like Pat Summitt when I was a kid because of the whole UConn-Tennessee rivalry, but like it was a respect thing where like I respected her, but I may not have liked her. Kim Mulkey, like I got nothing but bad feelings towards her, and it warmed my heart that everybody on the timeline was just talking shit about her and like hating on her because she gets away with so much.
And she's like taking away from her players.
Yes,
now,
exactly.
I will say this. There's two parts to this because we know the other part. Now, the players, I don't even know how to even word this because the players on her team right now, that's probably the best way I could say it. She will stick up for them in any way. Like, you see how they talk about her. Like, she sticks up for them. She'll do whatever. Now, the players that she's had before, I don't know about that one. Don't know about that one. But they do respect her.
Which is insane because
the
one player that she hasn't stuck up for who probably needed it the most is the one player that really put her fucking name on the map in terms of top tier college coaches. So, and we can go down the list of things that she's done and said that, you know, not the best, but it just, yeah, I completely agree. Like her antics and everything just completely took away from what was going on the court because nobody was talking about what was going on the court. Everybody was talking about, oh, get Kim off the court. Get Kim off the court. How is she doing this? How are they letting her get away with this? And then fast forward to the last 10 seconds of the game. Yeah. And that's what people have been talking about for days. And I can't believe that it's still going on.
The way that people are talking about it is truly fascinating to look at because that moment really shouldn't matter.
No.
At all. To anybody.
No.
Like, you see guys in the NBA, they do that shit every single day. They do it every day, and we just laugh about it, and we hype it up, and we post about it, like Pat Bev doing the too small thing, and they did it back. It was funny. Like, it's a good moment for sports. I love moments in sports where people talk shit. I love when it gets a little testy with the players just because it shows that they care a little bit, you know?
A couple years ago in the Super Bowl I think it was Sean Murphy Bunting who did the peace sign in Tyreek Hill's face. Like
awesome.
Everybody ate that up because it's Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's out here taunting everybody. He's finally getting a taste of his own medicine. It was great. We all loved it. I don't understand why this is different. And I can take a step back and say maybe it was a little over the top to be following her around the court and doing it and whatever. Like, yeah, I get that. Probably a little too much. But if Caitlin Clark's going to come out and do all this shit and...
Which she should. They both should.
Oh my God. Listen, if you have skill like that, you can talk as much shit as you want. But at the same time, you have to be able to take it when it's given back to you.
She definitely can. She was on TV today. Yeah. I feel like she doesn't need all these people to speak for her. They're just living vicariously through the situation that's happening that has nothing to do with them.
Especially when she can come out here and say, like you said, like she said today, that this is way overblown. You all are freaking out about this for no reason. Exactly. It's sports. It happens. It should happen. It makes sports fun.
And she has nothing to like hang her head on. Sure, they could have won that game, but they didn't. She is still the best player in college basketball. She probably knows that, but they didn't win and she knows it. And that's it.
And for my biggest thing is a lot of people are showing off and showing themselves who they really are, coming out here and calling Angel Reese classless and calling her every name in the book. You look specifically at I don't even need to name names because you all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like,
what a rough day that was.
What a way to just show who you really are. How it can't be cool when one player does it and then classless and shitty and whatever else you can think of when another does it. Like you can sit here and say what we said. Like, yeah, maybe it was a little too much, maybe it was over the top, but like
you can do that. Like, you won. You can do that.
Not only did she just win a national championship, she just broke a Division I record while winning a national championship. Like, give her space to talk her shit. If Aaron Donald can come out here and do the ring me thing after he won a Super Bowl, why can't Angel Reese after she wins a national championship?
Aaron Donald can hit people in the head with helmets and play the next game. So
yeah, but that's cool. We're not calling that classless and stuff. Like, what's the double standard is insane to me.
Yeah, it's just different for women, you know. They want women to act a certain way in every situation. They can't ever show personality, and when they do, it's an issue.
And that's the thing. Like, I think you and I can speak about this better than most people because we grew up playing sports and we grew up playing basketball. So, like, if you haven't been in situations, and granted, we weren't out here competing for a national championship or anything, but like
high school basketball, but still,
when you grow up. For example, I played travel, and then I played against the same girls throughout middle school, high school, whatever.
You had some rivalries. You had some beef.
You have some rivalries with girls that you grew up playing against from, like, the next town over. You're butt heads. You talk shit. That's what sports is. Like, there's a level.
You don't have to be friends with everybody.
No. You don't have to. No.
You don't have
absolutely not. You look at the NBA in, like, the 80s. They all wanted to fucking kill each other.
They did. See, that's what I was trying to say this the other day, and I don't think people were getting what I was saying when I said about the women. Like, the women will talk shit and they mean it. Like, they don't like you and they don't want you to win. They don't want you to do good. NBA players, they'll talk shit just for the clicks, everything. They think it's funny. Like Dylan Brooks. Is he really that tough? No, he's just doing it because he's a show off and he wants the attention. These girls, when they're talking shit, they mean it. They're not going to go fight each other, but they're going to say what they want to say.
And man, it's different, like girl versus girl, stuff like that. Even if it's not sports, like if a girl talks shit to you, as a woman to woman, it stings. Like because
they're nasty. Girls can get nasty.
The thing that I personally, when I get to a point where I'm provoked so much that I'm going to fight back, I'm going to bite you just as hard as you bite me, is I'm going to pick out whatever I know is going to make you feel the worst about yourself, and I'm going to exploit that. Like, if you push me to that point, that's where I'm going to go.
Get nasty.
And that's how it is, especially in competition. Like, don't mess, because it's
right. And when you're like messing with other people on their team, that's when it gets even worse.
Cry, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I respect everything that they're saying, everything that they're doing, because it makes it entertaining, not only for us, but for them. Makes the competition a little more exciting. And yeah, this comment right here, I hope they play each other next year. Yeah. That's the best part about it. They're both going to be back playing college basketball next season.
Yep. So, and let's just add a little bit of Homer into it. Paige Beckers is going to be back.
Yeah,
Paige Beckers can talk some shit too. She can talk some shit too. So it's going to be like, if you think that this was a good year for women's college basketball, like, pay attention to next year. You're going to have UConn back full throttle. You're going to have LSU trying to repeat. Iowa's going to be back. I mean, South Carolina is still going to be South Carolina. Like, it's going to be fun. So this is next a perfect launching point for women's basketball, for people to finally give it the respect that it deserves. So I'm excited.
Well, next year's Final Four is in Cleveland at the Cavs Arena. So I'm excited about that. Right. Hell yeah. What a perfect time. Couldn't have picked a better year at the Final Four. Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Do you think LSU Iowa can go back to the Final Four or Final Two again? Yeah. I mean, Final Four for sure. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I would love to see it. We would all love to see it.
There were a lot of upsets in the women's tournament this year too. So like, maybe it'll be like a competitive year again next year, but like those teams are tough. Like, I'm surprised South Carolina fell the way that they did. But then again, it was to Iowa. Iowa's no slouch. They got there because they deserve to be there. They are a good team. So it's going to be really fun. And then Monday night. Boy, oh boy.
Now, congrats to your Huskies.
Thank you.
Big win. Congrats on the win. Congrats on the money. However, I barely watched any of it. I'm not going to lie. I started watching it. It was okay. Turned the Cleveland Guardians game on for a little bit. That was not okay. So then I turned the game back on, and they did not score. San Diego State did not score a bucket for how long? 14 minutes?
It was 11 minutes and 8 seconds, almost exactly, I believe, which is insane.
Bad. That sucks. That has to be embarrassing.
I think Jim Nance said that was like a record.
Yeah,
like a drought.
That sucks.
I can understand, because I saw, again, a bunch of tweets about this. Like, I completely understand people finding it boring. Like, I obviously didn't, because I'm
because you had something
Connecticut. Like, I love UConn basketball. Like, the thing that I think people don't really realize is, like, when you're born in Connecticut, it's a birthright that you're a UConn Huskies fan. Like, they don't call it the basketball capital of the world for nothing. So even if I can talk shit about Connecticut till the cows come home, but when it comes to my Huskies basketball, men and especially the women, like, I take that to heart. And my boyfriend's from Connecticut too. Like, this was a big time in our household. But I can completely understand watching it as a fan of neither of those teams and being like, okay, it's a blowout. I don't want to watch this. Like, this game sucks. So, but I think that's a testament to how well UConn really played in this tournament. They won every single game by like 20 points.
Team out, yeah.
It's
good for them.
Like, it's one of the most dominant runs in college basketball. Like, we've seen, I don't know, maybe in my lifetime in the tournament. I can't think of anything, maybe like Villanova a couple years ago, but
okay, well,
other than that, I'm stumped.
I have a question for you about the tournament, and like everybody, actually. What would you rather have? Would you rather have, and I know the upsets at the beginning are super cool, but would you rather have all like low-ranked teams in the Final Four, which has some upsets along the way, which are really exciting, or like a couple of the best teams playing?
They're both fun in their own right.
Yeah, they have different.
I like when it's all the top teams like just sucker punching each other until like a heavyweight bout and stuff. I love that. But at the same time, I think it's so exciting when you've got the lower seeds, like this year's Final Four, when you got the lower seeds like that coming in, and it wasn't expected. It wasn't, the popular bet or anything. Like, it was just what I think March Madness is supposed to be. Like, it's supposed to be unpredictable, crazy, whatever happens. So I think I would prefer that. But I also think it's really fun when you've got like the Dukes and the North Carolinas of the world just fighting to the death in the Final Four. So, but it was crazy. And I won $95. So I'm like, hell yeah.
So I put that in the notes because I want to talk about that. And winning any kind of money is a big deal, guys. We don't unit shame. There's a lot of things we don't do. We don't kink shame. We don't unit shame. We don't shame in general. Unless you're being a dick, we don't shame.
I made a bet sweat video for our social media pages, and it ended up not being a sweat at all because it
just means you're good at betting.
UConn was just so dominant and whatever. And I definitely, I'll be honest with you, like watching every single game this season, I was a little nervous coming into the tournament, and then they started blowing people out consistently in the tournament. And I'm like, shit, man, I don't know how this long this can last. And then they do it to Miami, and I'm thinking San Diego State's a pretty good team defensively. Like, I didn't expect it. So,
yeah.
But when I posted this on Instagram and I like collabed with the page and whatever,
there's always someone.
The first comment was like, oh my God, $10. Like, first of all,
guess what? If you want me to bet more, give me money.
Exactly.
Give me money then. If you want me to bet more, give me money. Until then, don't speak.
And like, also, who cares? I just can't imagine.
Right?
Like, do you want me to go bankrupt? What if that didn't hit and I put my entire rent on it? Then what?
And then everyone would have made fun of you and said, oh, why would you do that?
Oh, you're so stupid. Why would you do that? Like, give me a fucking break. Give me a break. But also, like, shout out to my Yukon Huskies. They won me like $170 this weekend. So, and it was only $10 each. So $20 to make 170, like that sounds like a good deal to me.
You know how many iced coffees you can buy with that? A lot.
Girl, it's going into my vacation fund. It's paying for a night in Rome. Like, you want to talk shit about my little $10 bet, but like, it's going to a good cause. I am going to be nice in Italy this summer. And where are you going to be? Worrying about my money at home.
Typing on Instagram with the fake blue checks. So, yeah.
But also, I know, like, if I didn't set a limit for myself, I would be like, oh, this is definitely going to hit. Let's do $100.
Right, just
I don't want to do that to myself.
Away.
Yeah, I want to be able to, afford to live, afford to buy my groceries.
Right, we need to be responsible.
Yeah, $10 here and there, especially because I don't live in a sports betting state. So, like, when I do go somewhere where I'm able to bet, like, I feel like that would give me more incentive to drop more money. So I don't want to do that. So, like, $10. Who cares?
Also, sometimes it's just like fun to do it. Like, let's say there's a random ass game on. See, this is how I accidentally put $53 once, but that's besides the point. Let's say there's like a random game. Like, I was watching Celtics Knicks. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this game, but I don't really care that much.
Yeah.
Let me put a $5 little parlay to excite my evening.
That's what I did with the Gonzaga UCLA game. I saw the like same game parlay like promo, and I was like, oh, I got like a $5 free bet or whatever it was. Like, and this was when I was in Connecticut, so you can't bet on UConn while you're in Connecticut. So I couldn't bet on them that day when they played Arkansas. So I did that, and I ended up winning like almost $200. Like, could it have been more? Yeah, probably. But $5 was more than enough for me to bet on two teams that I really don't know much about, but I know enough about Gonzaga basketball to be a little cautious. And it worked out.
Right. And it's not like you're out here selling picks or like telling people what to do.
Like, I'm not a handicapper or anything. If you want to follow me for my betting advice, like, good luck.
I'm just a degenerate. I'm just here to have a good time.
Point you in the direction of like Liv and people like that, because they know better than me. Don't come to me for that. I'm just here to, test it out, have fun.
Good vibes.
Maybe win a couple bucks here and there. I don't know.
Yeah, just people get so upset over that.
So weird. Like, I can't imagine being mad at somebody not spending or like not putting up more of their own money. Like, I didn't work your job. I didn't make your money for you. Who am I to say what you do with it?
Oh my God. See, I haven't had one of these comments in a while. I haven't had one of these comments in a while. Someone just replied this to my photo. How does it feel to only have this job because you're a woman? And I just want to say, how does it feel to not have this job because you don't have... I'm going to leave that one to myself.
Oh, so this brings up a point that I wanted to talk about. So I think it's pretty interesting doing what we do, having a lot of our life being on social media because it's a part of our job. And, posting while we're at places and stuff like that. So I posted a picture in my pretty cool Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt this weekend. And somebody replied, cottage cheese, meaning...
Oh, yeah. I was like, what?
Here's where I am confused. We can't have it both ways, fellas.
No.
Are we going to sit here and talk about how maybe I could stand to lose 5 pounds, but like it's really none of your business? Or I only have my job because I'm pretty. Like, which one is it? Because we can't have both. You can't call me ugly and fat and body shame me and think that you're going to do all these things to upset me and then compliment me by also saying that I'm not smart enough or I'm not funny enough to have my job. I only have my job because of how I look. I'm confused where we stand here. So... And that also
they just type and talk for no reason, and I just like love to scroll and laugh.
Along with that, like, you think these major companies want to dish out money to people that they don't think are qualified to have their jobs?
They're not.
That makes no sense to me.
Mean people. Oh, this guy. So let's continue this convo. This will go right into a perfect segue to where we should go with this. So he's a football fan. Now, he's a football fan of a team that still doesn't have a quarterback. And I get why you're a little upset because I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be there.
Oh, man.
Who knows if he's going there? He's still not on your team.
I'm glad. I saw you tweet the other day, like, what's going on? Because I had that saved in my drafts.
What is going on?
Too? Like, what's going on?
We don't know.
Where are we going
we haven't
with
been
this?
told anything.
How has this not happened yet? The draft is, what, 2-3 weeks away at this point? How has this not gone through? So each team knows what draft capital they have to work with. I would be freaking out if I was a GM right now of either of these teams.
Everyone's like, oh, he wants to make his own decision. Like, the ball is in his court. Like, it really is. Like, he can do whatever he wants, you know? But at the same time, do you really want to do that to your future team? Not like they're going to do much. They they traded for a lot of people and signed a lot of free agents, but you still never know.
And then there was a report that came out today that the 49ers are ready to swoop in if, like, it doesn't work out with the Jets.
Yeah, they need to relax.
As a fan of a team in the AFC East, like, I'm all good with the 49ers taking over this whole project.
But, like, what makes the 49ers think that the Packers are going to
Right. Why would they want to trade in the conference? Like, that doesn't,
especially when you guys beat them in the playoffs with him, like.
So, well, that leads me to think, like, if they can't get a deal done trade-wise, there's no way that they realistically can/should do this. But are they thinking that they might just release him and just wipe their hands of it and be done?
How much money is that going to be, though?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And not getting anything back would be, like, the craziest thing in the entire world. It would be something that I personally would make fun of them for a very long time.
It would be very funny for them, yes. But then at the same time, I would feel a little bit bad because
I need Rodgers to go against the Pats for the content alone. Okay, I can respect that because I am an Aaron Rodgers hater, and it would be great. It would be great to make fun of the Jets and Aaron Rodgers at once at the same time. So I get that. But maybe not at the same time. I don't know. Because the Jets, I mean, you look at the rest of the Jets team, and we've said this before, like, they're really not that bad. They're probably just a quarterback away. Because Zach Wilson obviously isn't it.
He's not their quarterback because they've already come out and said he's not him.
And then, speaking of the Pats, might as well just get into this one too.
Yep. Let's talk. Let's talk some Mac Jones. I feel like we have every week it's a different angle of Mac Jones. Like, should they tank for a quarterback? Well, this week it's should they ship him off?
Mike Florio, like, if it comes from Mike Florio,
he's just typing sometimes.
Like, I take it with a grain of salt because him and, like, Sims Jr. are not the biggest fans of the New England Patriots and what they've got going on, and they never really have been. So I'm, like, iffy on this, but I also am not necessarily surprised if it's true. And I say that as somebody who has watched how the New England Patriots have operated for my entire life and know that it's a pretty, airtight organization. Hardly anything gets leaked before it happens. Belichick is a real big, don't talk to the media guy. If you do, like, see you later. But the report was that the Patriots have supposedly been shopping Mac Jones this season, looking for a trade partner. And they also were not happy that this past season when, the offense was struggling because they hired a defensive coordinator to be the offensive coordinator. He went to people at Alabama where he had played his college football and asked for advice, which apparently rubbed Belichick the wrong way. I've got multiple. I have a lot of thoughts on both sides of the situation. If I'm going to sit here and look at Belichick for getting mad about that, Like, you shouldn't have put him in this position anyway. You shouldn't have hired Matt Patricia to run this offense. If you wanted to bring him back, that's fine. Put him in a role where he knows what the hell he's doing. Not calling an offense. Like, it still baffles me that happened. How the greatest football coach in the history of the game allowed that to happen. Like, just elevate. If you knew that after this year, Bill O'Brien was going to be available and that's who you were going to go after, that's fine. Elevate an offensive coach just for the year as like an interim role or something. Or don't even give him the official title. But like, let him call the plays. Let him run the offense. If that's kind of like their specialty, do that instead of the other way around. So I'm going to, knock Belichick for that. I'm also going to knock him if this is true, if he's trying to trade their first round draft pick from 2 seasons ago already. Maybe it wasn't the right move, which I did say on the night of the draft, but I'm not going to get into that.
My question for him is, who does he think is going to pick up the phone?
Okay.
Who's picking up the phone for Mac Jones? Because
not only that, what is the backup plan here? What is the plan after Mac Jones gets hypothetically traded? Are we rolling with Zappy? Are we going back on what we said about how we're not going to go after Lamar Jackson? What's going on? Are we trading for Aaron Rodgers? Like, what the hell is the plan? That last one I don't want, but like, I don't know.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is an option. I don't think that anyone wants, like, what team wants Mac Jones? Can you name one?
I don't even want Mac Jones. Like, I don't know.
I can't tell you a team that would benefit from him. I mean, who's a team? Who's really a team that could benefit from him? Let
me refocus this first. Hold on. Am I back? Whatever. It doesn't matter. I looked at the list of teams that they reportedly were in talks with. One of them was the Commanders. One of them was the Bucks. The Raiders, I think.
What do you mean the Bucks? They have the greatest quarterback ever right now. So
okay, but hypothetically, it's the Bucks. Mac Jones goes to the Bucks, and then what? Now you're stuck with Baker Mayfield? Like what? How? How is
there's no way? I just don't think there's any way where he would take Baker Mayfield.
Belichick loved him coming out of college.
Well,
loved him to the point where he wanted to trade up. There was conversation about him trading up to take Baker.
I wish he would have. I wish he would have.
Man, even just talking about it. Oh, even just talking about it, I want to freak out.
Do us one favor, Bill. You should have done that one.
Oh, man.
We fired you, I know, but like.
I know my camera's not working. Like, here we go. We're back. Hi, guys. I just don't know. It can't be Bailey Zappi. I'm sorry. It can't be. I know everybody who has now become anti-Mac, who gave me shit for starting off as anti-Mac. Let's just put that out there. I see all of you. I see all of this. I see all the people who said that I was crazy and I didn't know what I was talking about for not wanting the Pats to draft Mac Jones. And now you're all sitting here saying Zappy should start over him.
Like, yeah, I feel like you're in the same spot that I was with Baker Mayfield, but I just don't think the fans are as crazy because that was one of the most terrifying times of my life, I will say.
I don't know. I just can't imagine.
Oh my God.
I'm so over this storyline of Mac Jones. And like I genuinely do feel for him because I'm sure this is not how he expected his NFL career to go.
I don't think anybody expected it. Well,
I
expected it. But I mean anyone in that position.
I genuinely feel bad because his rookie season realistically wasn't bad. Like he made the playoffs as a rookie and he was the benefit of the team going out and spending a shit ton of money. But like looking back, all of those contracts that they spent on, only 2 of them hit. So we can't really use that as a knock on Mac Jones. But he also had a competent offensive coordinator. And granted, I've said a lot of things about Josh McDaniels. I'm really glad he's gone. Was sick of him like 15 years ago or whatever. Like he's never been my favorite.
See, I just can't get past the visor.
Oh my God. And like just everything. He's just such a little weasel. Like And then to bring in the defensive coordinator as the makeshift offensive coordinator for his second season, thinking that it wasn't going to have a negative effect on his development as an NFL quarterback, like I just don't understand. And then now we're here. Like, how is this the timeline? It's frustrating. It truly is. Like I know the post-Brady years weren't going to be smooth, but I didn't anticipate this.
I mean, it could be worse, you know.
It could be worse. We could have Baker Mayfield.
You could. You might.
We basically have, like,
we don't know
almost.
Yet. You might. We could see it happen, but
I just don't know what the plan would be if it's truly like a quarterback competition for this offseason and like they're legitimately going to give Zappy a shot. I'm going to scream at the top of my lungs. I might not even come back from Europe. I'm going to stay there. I'm going to change my name, get new citizenship. Like, I'm not coming back because I can't deal with that. I can't do that for a whole summer.
God. Yeah, I've been there multiple years, which is almost every year of my life. And it doesn't get any better each time. I'll tell you that. You just laugh a little bit the next time. So, yeah, not ideal. But I don't know, just like all the quarterbacks, there's going to be so much drama with all the quarterbacks. You know who I think is going to have drama and people don't think it's going to have drama? Joe Burrow.
Really?
They think he's going to take a little team-friendly deal? No, he's not going to take a team-friendly deal.
Yeah,
he wants to get paid.
Absolutely not.
And he deserves to get paid a lot of money.
Absolutely.
And just because you guys are poor doesn't mean that he has to take less. Just because he's from Ohio doesn't mean anything either.
I also saw that conversations between Herbie and the Chargers for an extension
if they were smart, they'd do it first.
Yeah.
If they were smart,
that's what I'm saying.
Get his contract out of the way first. Because then Joe Burrow is going to be more expensive and Jalen Hurts is going to be more expensive.
And if I was somebody in the AFC who was, you know, on the cusp of being a competitive team, I would look at that and say, Chargers, if you're going to keep doing what you're doing for however long in terms of not winning playoff games and stuff, but you want to pay Herbert, be my guest, because it will make it so much better for everybody else if it comes time for the Bengals and Burrow to get the extension done.
I think it's going to make it worse.
No, you think so? I'm thinking that because they're not going to want to spend all that money. It's going to be better for everybody else in the AFC because he might get the hell out of there. He might test free agency and he'll get paid somewhere.
Wait, maybe what do you mean? You mean like Joe Burrow's going to leave?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because I think Justin Herbert's going to get paid a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, if Herbert sets the market for those three,
the Eagles will pay Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
They'll pay.
I think so, too.
The Bengals don't really know. You guys can't – you had to change the name of your stadium to Paycor to pay Joe Burrow, and you guys can't even still do that. So – you have a blow-up practice facility. Hey, Joe Stadium. You have a blow-up practice facility. You're not signing any other – you signed Orlando Brown, but besides that, like nothing else. You're trying to get players to fund their own insurance.
Well, that's another thing,
benefits
too.
For
They're
them.
Putting all that money into the offensive line.
It hasn't worked out, really.
Again, like, I don't know.
He's going to want some money. If you're going to get tackled every day like that, you're going to have to pay me. So
yeah,
that's how it is.
I'm not taking a hometown discount just to get my knees blown out every other year.
Bengals fan growing up, guys.
Like,
wasn't even screw that. No. So
I'm right there with you. I would like to see Joe Burrow on a different team.
Bengals fans think that they're going to pay him and T. Higgins and Jamar. I don't think they're doing that. I don't think they're going to do that. If they did, props to them.
Not only do I not think that they're going to do it, I don't think they can afford to do it. Like, that's going to be a lot of money. If you're going to allocate all your money into those three, because the offensive line is expensive as hell right now.
For the production?
And then you have to pay. Jamar's obviously going to get paid. They would be stupid not to.
He's going to get paid.
They would be stupid not to pay Burrow, but I don't think it's going to be as much as we all expect him to get because And then Higgins, like, I genuinely thought Higgins was going to get traded this year.
They should trade him. If they wanted to get value out of him, they should have traded him already. They should
have. Speaking of people on the trade block that we haven't heard anything of, what the hell is going on with DeAndre Hopkins? I'm surprised that he hasn't been moved yet. I'm surprised Judy hasn't been moved yet.
I don't think Judy's going to get moved.
Maybe it's like a draft day trade.
Maybe, but they want way too much for him.
Again, we said this a couple weeks ago. The fact that they even thought that they would get a first round pick for him.
I mean, I think someone will give a lot, but they're just not asking the right things yet.
I saw the report of the second in a player. I guess I can get on board with that. It's still maybe on the higher end, but like, whatever. D-Hop to the Pats. Man, I would love it. I just don't see it happening.
I just don't think he would have fun there.
If I was him,
to your team, but I wouldn't want to play with Mac Jones.
And I wouldn't want to go play for a coach that I've already played for and don't have a great relationship with. If I was him, I wouldn't want to go back and play for Bill O'Brien, even if that meant playing for Bill Belichick. Like, if I already know that is toxic, if it doesn't work, it may be my lifelong dream to play for the best coach in the history of the game. But in that situation, like, it's not worth it to me personally.
Higgins could be draft day deals. Now, if that happens, I'm going directly. If T. Higgins gets traded, I'm going directly to the Bengals Twitter account. I'm pulling up the video where they had their owner say, yeah, we're going to pay him. We can't wait to pay him. And I'm going to say, well, look at this one, guys.
What do you say, like, go get your own or something?
Yeah, he's like, if you want a wide receiver, you can find your own.
Yeah. Well, we found yours, actually, pal. Thanks. So, I don't know. I just am football, man.
It is so stressful. Lamar Jackson still is not paid money.
How are these the craziest part about all of this? And I know Lamar wants the deal similar to Deshaun.
Well, did you see what he said? The next thing, I don't know if he said it, but someone said that he said it. The report was he didn't want a fully guaranteed contract.
Okay.
But now this is where it gets a little crazy. He wants more guaranteed money than Deshaun.
Okay,
so what does that mean? What does that mean?
So he doesn't want so he wants a 600. How the hell much is Deshaun's full deal? It's like 360 something million?
230 million guaranteed.
Okay. So he wants he wants what, like a $400 million deal, and he wants half of it or 3/4 of it guaranteed.
What? Yeah, I just don't know how that one's going to work out. Man. But I think.
But at the same time,
he's going to end up with the Ravens. He's going to end up still with the Ravens at this point.
Which would be hysterical after all of the tweets and the stuff.
And the coaches meeting day.
I just don't understand
Harbaugh at the table.
How these teams that are in need of a quarterback can sit here and say,
just go without. Yeah.
No, we're all set. Like, injury history, yeah, I get that. He wants a lot of money. I get that too. You're going to – the Atlanta Falcons, for example. How are you're going to roll out with Desmond Ridder? Like, that's really what you're going to do? Because they're making pretty decent moves, the Falcons. They got Jesse Bates. Like, it's not like they're – and that division, too. The division is winnable for anybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, Derek Carr's going to throw like just as many interceptions as he does every single year. That's not going to change.
So will Baker Mayfield,
and then Baker Mayfield, and then
I don't know what the Panthers are going to do
in Carolina. Like, it's a winnable division if you just.
I mean, the Ravens could have won the effing AFC North easily if Lamar played all those games. Like. It's just he's really freaking good, and no one wants to give him money, and I just don't think it's going to work out in the way that he wants to, and I feel bad for him. I also think that he should probably get an agent, not saying that he's not capable of doing the things in that way, but it's just nice to have someone that has the bridge between you to communicate those things. I feel like that could be very beneficial to this situation in both parties.
I don't know. I just can't imagine having a very good quarterback be available and then just say, yeah, no, we're all set. Okay. What?
Yeah.
Like,
it's not like you can tank for whatever the heck that guy's name is that's going to be in the NBA draft. It's not like there's a player like that.
Yeah. Could you imagine? What the hell's his name? Victor Wembanyama or something? Yeah. Could you imagine him as a quarterback? Jesus. Did you see the clip of him getting his own rebound for the dunk? That's sick.
Yeah, he's absolutely really sick. He's really so good. And you know what's so bad? And I know this is not football talk, but just NBA, the Detroit Pistons have lost 20 of their last 21 games. Oh. Terrible. And they still might not get him because of the lottery. And that's like funny, but like they lost that many games. You have the best odds, but that doesn't mean shit because lottery.
You got to worry about which ball pops up first. Oh, that must be so annoying.
I've been there quite a few times, but it's worked out for us kind of besides Colin Sexton, but that's just no, it does because now we have Donovan Mitchell. So
yeah, it worked out for the Celtics a couple of times.
Yeah, so but they've lost 20 of the last 21. That's be miserable.
Speaking of the Celtics, I have something. Oh, and this is perfect. Somebody said, "How do you think the Celtics will do in the playoffs?" This is sort of an answer to that question, not 1,000%, but I do have a bone to pick with some people. I understand the Celtics have definitely had a little bit of a bumpy road lately. Lost games that they absolutely should not have lost to teams that they should never even dream of losing to.
I feel like everybody's at that point right now, though.
I just am a little skeptical when it comes to picking against them. Tonight, for example, I know that they're the road team. Philly is a tough place to play. I get that. The last few times they played Philly, they've beaten them. To the point where a couple years ago, you had Joel Embiid say it's not a rivalry because they always kick our ass, which is 1,000% true. And they're only like 2.5-point underdogs tonight, and that's definitely a case of just the home court advantage thing for Philly. But like, I still don't understand that.
Why? Is this like, are you guys close for the 2 seed?
I want to say Philly's like 2 games behind or something like that. I don't know. But I've seen a lot of people talk about how the Bucks are, the team to beat in the East. And I would just like to come out and say, where were you on Christmas Day? Where were you last week? Where were you when the Hospital Celtics took them to overtime and almost beat them up until like the very last 30 seconds? Like, if you're telling me a team led by Derek White, Sam Hauser can take on Giannis and the semi-healthy, missing maybe 1 or 2, I think they were missing Bobby Portis and Chris Middleton. But
Bobby Portis kills me, guys. I don't know what it is about him, but he cracks me up.
I just want people to. I'm actually, you know what? I'm not even going to say what I was going to say. I like the fact that people are disrespecting the Celtics a little bit. It's going to make it a lot more fun when they come out and kick ass like they did last year. And hopefully the ending is a little bit different than it was last playoffs for them. But when this team is on, when they're all healthy and playing together, they're tough to beat. And I like their chances against anybody. I don't care who you are.
Okay, who would you guys be playing? Who would you guys be playing? See, I only watch the Cavs at this point. I watched the Sixers a little bit because I like Tyrese Maxey and Embiid.
I'll be 1,000% honest. I don't know who the first round matchup would be right now.
Well, the Cleveland Cavaliers will be playing the Knicks, and I'm not ready for that one. I'm not ready for that one because I don't want to. Well, one, I think it'll be a great series. I think it'll be really fun, really competitive.
How long is Julius Randle out for though? Wouldn't he miss the first couple of games or something?
We can only hope. I just don't think the Cavs are ready. They're good. I think they're a really great team. They have really good pieces. They could use another shooting guard. Easily could use another one. But I just don't think that they are a championship level team, but I think they're going to be fun and exciting in the playoffs regardless. I don't want to play the Knicks though, because I'm tired of the whole Donovan Mitchell New York story. Like, we have to hear it every day. Like, I'm over it. They're over it. We're over it. That's all you're going to hear for the next week. I don't really care. I don't think anybody else cares. Right. Only the people that want to type up a story on all the network.
Who the hell is like knocking down a building outside? Do you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
My God. It sounds like they're trying to knock my building over.
Cavs Celtics series would be great.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
Every game has been really great.
Yeah.
You either have overtime or you have Grant Williams missing the 2 threes. That was an all-time moment.
Grant Williams, man, he's been one of those players. Like, I feel like there's always one player on any team you're a fan of that, like, you start the season really liking, and you know you're excited for them, and you think that they can be a really key piece. And then as the season goes on,
they do dumb shit.
You're like, man, you're doing too much. You're doing too much.
And he trash talks. That's what I'm saying. Like, the women, they will trash talk and they mean it. He's just saying shit.
He's talking for the sake of talking.
He's not even making sense.
Do they keep him? No.
No, I
don't think they do. And I don't think that I will lose any sleep over it. And but I think that's how pretty much all Celtics fans feel at this point. Like,
and I think he tanked his value a little bit.
Yeah.
Going into the season,
especially
way higher.
Especially with that little free throw thing. I'm gonna make both. And you missed both.
Oh my God! Like, that was awesome. I got to watch that in person. I was about to leave.
You just lost $10 million on your next contract right there.
I'll make both of them. Just shoot the fucking free throws.
Right?
And
just shut up.
Them.
Just shut up. That's it. Just stop.
So bad. You're not.
I appreciate, going back to our conversation earlier, I appreciate shit talking and stuff like that. In those situations, when you're not necessarily that player, like if Jason Tatum did that, and he, you know, I like the likelihood of him making those after saying that way more than Grant.
Listen, he only had to make one. One.
He only had to make
he
one.
missed both. Oh my God. I've never seen anything like that.
Oh, man. What about Kyrie and Luka?
Now, did anyone ever think that this was going to be a good idea?
No,
we saw the trade.
It's not going to make
from the jump. Either way, if they were playing well, I don't think that those two are enough to beat some of these teams. Like Kyrie and Luka, they're going to score a lot of points, but what are you going to do when you have someone like Joel Embiid in the lane? Like, what are you going to do? You have someone that, Jokic, you're not going to stop that. You can score all the points you want.
We said from Jump Street that this wasn't going to solve any problems. It might take a little bit of stress off of Luka, but like, that's it. And
now they're both stressed.
Here they are, maybe not even making the playoffs. Like,
well, the West is a disaster.
It is.
Really bad.
It's, yeah. But, like, I think that makes it so much more fun. Like, I like the fact that the Lakers, like, maybe still might be in it, maybe not.
Could play some games, yeah.
Everybody's separated by, like, a half a game. Like, it's just a absolute cluster, and it's going to be chaos for the next, we've got 5 days left until the last regular season game. It's going to be absolute madness in the West. But you know who's already in? The Sacramento Kings.
They are.
It's going to be so fun. I'm so happy for them.
Guys, I like the Kings. I do, but I think they're going to lose. I want them to win, but I don't know what. I have this feeling. I'm like, they had this cute little story, and it's going to be so fun. And then I just have a feeling that they're not going to do well, and I feel bad for them. I want them to.
Yeah, I agree. But then going back to what you just said, I think the West is so much of a mess that, like, I'm not totally comfortable with counting them out.
Like, I think that the Nuggets also probably won't.
The Nuggets play the
Lakers. If they play the Lakers, I think the Lakers win.
The Nuggets give me, like, similar Dallas vibes, similar Philly vibes. Like, they've got Jokic. And then
Jamal Murray.
Like, yeah, okay, sure.
Michael Porter. Yeah. Who else is on the team?
Right? Like, if that's like your big three, I mean, I don't know. But
I mean, your one is very significant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
what's going on after that?
You need a little more.
Oh, man, basketball. And then we've got hockey playoffs coming up too.
I wish I could tell you. I don't know anything. I know that the Bruins play Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, that's basically all but official. I think Pittsburgh has to win like one more game for that to be finalized or something. But every game that they've played this season has been pretty, well, not every game, but almost every game has been pretty competitive, pretty close.
I'm going to ask a question, and it might be a dumb one, but I really don't know. Does Sidney Crosby still play?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, he still plays. Okay.
He is. And he's still doing the damn thing.
Good.
It's like, I think this is his like 9th or 10th consecutive season with like 100 points or something like that. Like, he just broke a record, and he is dragging Pittsburgh into the playoffs. If he has to do it by himself, like, he's like, you're all coming with me.
Well, see, I had a convo the other day with someone about him, and it was him and Big Ben, and someone was like, I bet Sidney Crosby is bigger than Big Ben in Pittsburgh. I said, there's absolutely no way. I know that Sidney Crosby is a big deal, but I think it's
I would say
Big Ben for sure.
It might be a little bit closer than you think.
I don't know, though, because, like, I've been there, you know? Like, I lived in Pittsburgh, and, like, when you see these fans at these Steelers games, next level. Like, they would do a lot of things for that man, and probably shouldn't, but they would.
Okay, here's a question. Have you ever been to an NHL game in person? Who is this directed at? Both of us? Is this directed at one or the other? Because I lived in Boston for a couple years and grew up I've been to my fair share of professional hockey games, even non-Bruins games. Like, I would take the train down to the Garden and go to Rangers games with friends, or go to the Islanders games and stuff. Like, I have lots of hockey in my lifetime.
I've been to 3.
You have a wonderful, wonderful hockey game story. It's one of my favorite stories.
Oh, man. Yeah, see, we don't really need to tell the whole thing. Basically, I went on a date to a hockey game, and the guy was awful, and I left. I told him I was going to the bathroom, and I never came back because he was really not a nice guy. Is that really bad? Probably, but he was also really bad, so I left. And that was a Penguins game. That was my experience there. Been to a Blue Jackets game. Not going to lie, guys, don't remember much of it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. And I just went to a Predators game.
How is that? That's on my sports bucket list, going to a game in Nashville.
Oh, yeah. Here's what happened.
Oh, God.
So I go to the game. Well, the game already started. I get there maybe 30 minutes late. I stay for one of the, what are they, periods? Stay for one. Left. Yeah, and then I went to a rooftop bar. But I had a good time.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
It's cool.
As a non-hockey fan, like, that's it. That's all you got to do. Have a good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
But I will say, this is the year that if the Boston Bruins do not win the cup, like 2019 did me dirty. That game 7, I was, and I'm not even exaggerating, I was depressed for 2 whole weeks. I couldn't even talk about it without crying. Like, it broke my heart. I had to go home the next day for my sister's high school graduation. And I go and I like pull into the driveway at my parents' house, and I walk in, and my dad is walking up the stairs and meets me on the landing, because it's like a split. And he just looks at me and he shakes his head, and I just broke down. Like, that's how much losing the Stanley Cup Finals killed me that year, because they were so close, so close. This year, after the season that they've had, after knowing that this is probably one of, if not the last time that this core is together, meaning Bergeron, Marchand, and Krejci, I'm going to be inconsolable for a really, really long time. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be okay. Ever.
That makes me so sad, because, like, that gives me vibes of how I felt when Cleveland lost the World Series in 2016. I cried at that one. That's probably the only sporting event I've ever cried at.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really think it's true. It might haunt me more than losing the 2007 Super Bowl did. And that I can't even watch the helmet catch. And that it's been however many years, and like that still hurts me, but this might be worse than that. I have a feeling it's going to be. So I'm going to need them to not do that.
We're going to need a win.
So I'm going to need the cup. The cup's got to go back to Boston, or else I'm going to be in shambles. I know a shit ton of Bruins fans feel the same way that I do. I need it, because I can't go an entire summer of depression plus watching the Boston Red Sox. I can't do it.
Shit.
I can't.
See,
Again,
that's, oof.
I might not come back from Europe. I might change my name. I might stay.
I mean, I haven't watched a single Red Sox game. Can't say that I've seen them yet, which I don't know where I would, because it's hard to watch baseball anywhere.
It honestly hasn't been as bad as I thought.
No, you guys did score a lot of runs.
4 games, but that's the thing.
But you're also giving up a lot.
Exactly. You're scoring like
10 runs.
10 runs per game,
and
you're
giving
up
9.
11.
Yeah.
Like, it's
wasn't the one game 10-9 against the, I don't know.
I'm not even kidding. Every single game that they have played has been a 1-run game.
But like multiple runs.
It's yesterday.
Pirates
game, top of the first inning.
Reynolds.
Pirates are up 3-0. Bottom of the first inning, Red Sox
it's like 5.
Like that.
Yeah.
And then boom, 5. And then second inning, it's 5-5 again. Like, it was just like,
there were a lot of home runs in that game.
Oh, but the pitching, like the starting pitching is just, KLUBER was the opening day starter. So that's should tell you.
Like Corey KLUBER?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
For the Red Sox.
For the Boston Red Sox. Oh, yeah, baby.
No way.
Oh, for sure.
How did that go?
Not great.
Oh my God.
3 1/3, I think.
This just keeps going with the story. When I said the only sporting event I've ever cried at, Corey fucking KLUBER.
Well,
you made me cry tears right there down the street, because imagine this. Imagine your basketball team wins a series down 3-1, and you talk about it all year. You talk about it all summer. So crazy for your effing baseball team to just lose a series 3-1. Let us have one thing. Can't even have that.
Nope.
Corey KLUBER.
Yeah, that's how that went.
Oof.
And then, but they almost won that game. It was like an 8th inning, 9th inning comeback, and they fell short by 1 run. But like,
he did bad.
He pitched, I want to say 3 1/3, gave up.
That doesn't sound very good. Okay.
4 runs, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Wasn't great. He walked in a run, I think. Like, it wasn't really all that good. But then Chris Sale, I mean, I know he's coming back from like a shit ton of injuries and stuff, but like, he's just not, I don't think he's the same. But I don't like to give out takes like this about the Red Sox, because Red Sox fans are crazy.
Are they?
Red Sox Twitter scares me. I feel like I can't talk about baseball because
Why they get too upset?
It's like, this is just what I've noticed as a fan.
Critical.
They're very critical, and there's a certain section where they are more of the like analytics side, where they pay attention to a lot of the stats and things like that, and they're able to tell like you what like somebody's whip is or something like that. Like, I don't know.
We're working with the eye test here, you know?
Like, I'm just watching. Like, I'm just watching what's on my television, and if it's not good, I'm going to tell you it's not good. And if it's not good for a long time, I'm going to tell you that the guy sucks. And that's it. That's the type of baseball fan I am. I love baseball, but I'm not going to sit here. Math has never been my thing. I'm not going to sit here and calculate batting average or on base percentage plus slugging. Like, I'm not going to sit here and do that. That's too much for me. I can't. That's not enjoyable. But I feel like I can't say stuff sometimes, because they're like, oh, well, you don't know his this, you don't know his that. So
you're right. I don't.
Like, yeah, I don't. Teach me. Tell me if this is good or bad. I'm willing to learn, but I'm not going to sit here and calculate this myself. That's so hard.
You yell at me after, yeah. So I don't know. I feel like Guardians fans are a bit, I don't know, they're kind of nice. But I feel like that's just our team. Our team's group of little wholesome men.
Yeah.
So all of our fans are just
when it's
happy.
like bigger market teams, like that, like the Dodgers, the Red Sox, Yankees, stuff like that. It's more, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's more like buttoned up and like professional.
I was going to say pretentious. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Pretentious. Yes. Perfect. Thank you. I'm like thinking of what the hell I'm even trying to say, but yeah, that's perfect.
I tried to say this about baseball before and people like weren't going with it, but I feel like you would agree. I feel like some baseball teams, it's kind of like a country club, outdated, old, only certain people can be there. It still sucks. So I don't know why you guys keep going.
Yep.
Or acting like you enjoy it.
I get exactly what you're saying. So, but like, yeah, that's why like I'm good with just sitting here and tweeting out my stupid little memes when somebody hits a home run and stuff. But like, that's as far as I realistically like to go when it comes to baseball takes, because Red Sox fans, I love you guys. I love Red Sox Twitter. You scare me though. And I want to stay on your good side. So I'm not going to go out and give any opinions on anything. I'm just
the White Sox. Stuff. White Sox have some crazy fans. And I just want to say one thing real quick for the White Sox fans. This is to no fan in particular, but I just want them to know they have one year where they've won a playoff series in the last 105. Shut up. Shut up. Like, I know you won a World Series in that year, but that's the only time you've ever been good. Congrats on that. But like 1 year in 105 years, you had playoff wins and no others.
Well, oh my God, this comment, how's Mac Jones doing? I'm sorry, you are late to the party. We already talked about it. I can't get into it again.
He's probably not doing well.
I can't have this conversation again. If you would like to know what we said during that segment, feel free to watch on YouTube after this gets posted. I can't. I'm sorry.
He's probably not doing well.
I'm tired of just everything. And that's another reason why I need the Bruins to just do the damn thing. I can't have a summer of talking about how much of a failure it was if they lost, plus Red Sox, plus talking about whatever's going to happen in the Patriots season. Like, so much of my emotional and mental well-being is riding with the Celtics and the Bruins. I can't even put it into words. So, and that's not fair to them. They're just, going to go out there and do their best, play their best, try as hard as they possibly can. But I need it.
Bruins or Celtics to win more. I'm going to assume it's Bruins.
Who do I want to win more? Yeah. The Bruins, for sure. For sure. If Patrice Bergeron finishes his career with only one Stanley Cup, it's going to actually ruin me. Like, I'm going to be sad about it for the rest of my life.
Okay, let me ask you this, then I'll be done. That's my last question I have, because I asked Reds fans this question, and the answer surprised me. So you have, I don't even know which teams I want to use for you, but for them, I said, do you want 5 World Series or 1 Bengals Super Bowl? And I thought they would go Bengals, because they have none, 0. Yeah. Your team's really good. You have Joe Burrow. That's the only thing you talk about. You go to 1 Reds game a year. No, they said 5 World Series. I thought that was pretty surprising.
Really?
Yep. I thought that was crazy.
Okay, so let's put this in the perspective of, would I rather 1 more Stanley Cup or 1 more Super Bowl? I'm like, man, I love the Patriots. I would say out of all 4, Patriots are my 1A, Bruins are my 1B, but like there's a little bit of a gap. I want a cup more than anything. I'm good with not winning a Super Bowl for a little bit if that means the Bruins can get at least 1 more. Like, I can't express enough how much I think like this is the year, but this is also the window is closing. If not, like a little sliver is left open, and this is it. So it's the Bruins. So no pressure, boys. No pressure whatsoever.
That sucks though when your team is just so good.
Yeah.
Like the best of the best, and then they don't.
Like, this is when it's a historical season. Like, they're doing shit people haven't done ever.
Right. It's like when the Warriors had that record and they lost. It doesn't really matter because they won all those other championships around it. But still, it always seems like whoever's doing the absolute best ends up
And then they won the President's Trophy, so that's the team that has the most points, and that's like how standings go and shit. So they won that, but like, and that's considered to be cursed because President's Trophy winner hasn't won the cup in like however many years, or hasn't performed well in the playoffs in however many years. So like, you've got that on top of it. It's just, it's a lot. It's a lot looking, for lack of a better term, looking down the barrel, and we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be the next few months. I'm going to be an emotional wreck. It's going to be fun. Can't wait.
Oh, we can only hope one of the two does something well.
I need it. Especially after losing the finals last year. Like, it's so close. The last few times. I need it.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, though. I think losing the World Series was worse than losing in the finals. That one hurt.
Yeah.
That one hurt bad. That one hurt so bad. But just another day.
Man. Yep. What can you do? It's not like we can go out there.
Right, because I did not like I would improve the team in any way.
We actually would make it worse. Oh, man. Yeah, especially me. I can't go out there and skate. Are you kidding? I don't know how to stop. I know how to skate. Stopping, not so much. I do like the little pizza thing. You're supposed to make a pizza with your skates to slow down.
I can ice skate okay, but I don't know if holding an object.
No, hand-eye coordination plus balance plus whatever. No,
plating.
Sorry.
Don't think I could do that one.
How about the depressing Pats-Rams Super Bowl? I was at that one, so it wasn't depressing for me. Like, I know it was low scoring and stuff, but like I took in the whole experience, so can't relate, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We've got a couple weeks worth of playoffs coming up, and it's gonna be fun. Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Cavs in the playoffs, Celtics in the playoffs. Got the Bruins. By this time next week, we'll have a playoff picture, right?
Yeah, I think the play-in games start next Tuesday, I think.
Perfect. So we can watch
yeah,
Trae Young and the Hawks lose. That'll probably be the first one.
I'm not even gonna lie to you.
You don't know who's gonna be in there. Yeah.
I don't know who the hell the play-in. I when it comes to the NBA, I pay attention to the Celtics and then whatever the Bucks and the Sixers are doing, because that's who I would consider like the biggest threat.
I'll pay attention. I pay attention to the East, I will say. Yeah. It was more entertaining, I feel like. Yeah. Not to say that the West isn't entertaining, but I feel like the East is a little more entertaining. Basketball's a little better. It's
definitely better. So I get that. And what else? I think that's all I got.
Yeah, I got nothing else. I got a baseball game to watch at 9:40 p.m. Could be a little earlier.
West Coast.
Mm-hmm. Double. Yeah, got it. So we got a Oakland A's 9:40 p.m. game. Shane Bieber on the mound. I'm gonna go watch that. Gonna watch the rest of the Cavs.
Celtics to pop on, and yeah,
we'll see you guys.
That's all I got.
We'll see you guys next Tuesday.